If you have £50,000 or more in cash savings right now, then you could be one of the millions of people having to pay extra tax simply because you save too much. It's not a nice situation to be in, especially if you weren't expecting it. And not only is it totally unjustified, but also unnecessary to let more of those hard-earned savings slip away to the taxman. So to help you avoid that outcome, I'm going to break down my 3-step framework for deciding what you should be doing with your cash savings to get the most out of them. Hi, my name is Ruth and I'm a financial coach who helps people make sense of investing so they can confidently manage their finances to meet their personal goals. Why HMRC is taxing savings interest. Before we get into the details of how to keep your savings safe from tax, it's worth explaining the personal savings allowance, which is a limit on the amount you're allowed to earn in interest from savings before having to pay tax. This varies according to your income tax band and means that anyone earning more than their PSA in interest from savings is getting charged tax on the interest in line with their income tax band. To rub salt in the wound, from April 2027, this tax rate is increasing by 2% across the board, meaning soon you'll be taxed even more unless you follow the steps broken down in this video. Why saving 50,000 puts you at risk. Saving 50,000 is a commendable milestone, and yet saving it might not be earning you as much as you think it should. At a 4% interest rate, your savings should be making you £2,000 per year. But unless you're a non-taxpayer or that money is safely put inside of a cash ISA, then this puts you significantly over your allowance, and HMRC deals with this either by changing your tax code and taking your money behind the scenes, or by sending you a fresh new tax bill. For a higher rate taxpayer, this means losing £600 of that £2,000 in savings interest. So now that you can see the risk in actually holding too much cash savings, we can explore the ways to easily avoid it. Step 1, how to immediately protect your savings interest. If your main priority is keeping your money safe and sound, start by moving your money into a cash ISA to protect it, as these remain fully exempt from all tax. You'll want to use a cash ISA and not a stocks or innovative finance ISA for this because of the new charges that are coming into play for interest earned on cash within investment ISAs from next year. Each UK adult can currently place up to 20,000 into a cash ISA each year, but this is reducing down to 12,000 for under 65s from April 2027. That said, depending on your situation, there might be a much better place for your cash savings than a simple cash ISA. This is because tax savings is only one part of the equation, and the other and more valid point really is whether you actually have a good reason for holding this much cash, or could you be better off investing some of the money? Because in the time it took 100,000 in cash savings to double, a globally diversified investment portfolio had grown to almost £900,000. And before I move on here, this graph shows the actual past performance where your money would be spread across thousands of companies across the world. And while the reality is that cash has you moving backwards after factoring in inflation, long-term global investing lets you capture world economic growth over the medium to long term. Step 2, calculate your investable gap. I started my own investing journey half a decade ago, and recently my total amount invested grew to over 6 figures. The trick to working out how much you can afford to invest is to first work out how much cash you actually need to keep. Sounds obvious, I know, but this part can be a little tricky to figure out, especially for beginner investors. I've had clients save well over £100,000 before they came to me to learn how to invest. Add up what you need for an emergency fund and any spending requirements that are going to be coming up within the next 5 years. Then take that total off the amount that you have saved up. If the number is positive or above 0, then you have an investable gap and should move on to step 3. If it is negative, you can just keep saving and using that cash ISA to shield the money from tax. For example, Sarah has 50,000 saved and calculates her emergency fund needs at £9,000, which is 6 months worth of her essential living expenses. Beyond that, she is planning on having a new bathroom installed within the next 2 years and chooses to allocate £11,000 to this project. There are no other short-term goals coming up for Sarah, and so in total, £20,000 must be kept safely as cash, but £30,000 may be freed up to invest into the stock market. Step 3, invest the excess tax efficiently. Once you've established your investable gap, you will need to choose how to invest the money. There are 2 main places to consider investing tax efficiently, and the one you choose is going to be mostly dependent on the timing of when you want to access the money. If it's for retirement, then a pension, such as a workplace pension or self-invested personal pension, is your best bet. And working people can usually contribute the higher of your annual income or £60,000 into a pension each year. Doing this with your savings gives you an automatic boost into your pension balance of 20%, while higher and additional rate taxpayers can get even more by claiming it back off HMRC. What this means for Sarah pension route. Sarah could choose to place £30,000 into her pension and get between £6,000 and £13,500 in income tax relief on top, depending on her income band. That's pretty nice. While pensions can be great, the main downside is that that money is locked away until a fixed retirement age that is set by the government. And if you actually do want the flexibility to access the money sooner than that, then you can go with a stocks and shares ISA instead. How to invest any amount into a stocks ISA. You'll remember that there's a £20,000 annual ISA limit. That's per person across all the ISA types. While some specific ISA accounts have their own limits, you can use the stocks and shares version for the full quota as long as you haven't used your allowance elsewhere. The main benefits of using a stocks ISA to invest is that 1, all of the investment returns will be free from tax, and 2, the money can be taken out at any time. And if you have more than £20,000, then you can use the bed and ISA strategy to get all of your savings inside of an ISA. What this means for Sarah ISA route. If Sarah wants the flexibility to access her money before retirement age, she would take the ISA route for her £30,000 investable gap. Because the annual ISA limit is £20,000 across all ISA accounts combined, Sarah puts £20,000 straight into her stocks and shares ISA in year 1, protecting all future investment returns from HMRC. That then leaves £10,000 of her investable gap. She keeps that remaining £10,000 outside of an ISA for now, for example, in a general investment account or a high interest cash account, where it starts to earn for her while she waits for her ISA allowance to renew. As soon as the 6th of April hits and her fresh £20,000 allowance opens up, Sarah deposits that remaining £10,000 straight into her stocks and shares ISA. By year 2, her entire £30,000 investable gap is fully sheltered inside her ISA wrapper. Your free 6-step investor guide. If you want to follow these exact steps at home, you can access my 6-step investor checklist for free using the link in the description below. You will get this 1-page summary along with a full 5-page breakdown of how to start investing. This video covers the first 3 steps, but that resource goes on to also help you to define and refine your own investment strategy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.